My question to Dr. Ravindra and Jyoti. A right brand, we say, we hear, we say, we've heard in all our management books, is very critical for retaining talent, getting new talent, getting smart a lot of the talent, for the value chain of the customer. What is your thought on that?
So we started by saying that products are built on shop floor, brands are built in mind, right? So we said that brand is that intangible thing. It's that perception. Because it's intangible, because it's perceptive, there are no clear-cut black and white yardsticks to measure it. Having that said, there are ways to go around it. So although you may not be able to pinpoint revenue growth, profitability growth, employee retention, customer acquisition, market expansion, product development, numerous things squarely to brand building, is that one underlying thread that cuts seamlessly across the value chain. That's very important point to make. Now, you know whether the branding that you are doing is effective. So I think Jyoti was trying to mention it through some other channels, but I think I'm being a little bit more direct. There is a concept called customer experience. Yeah. So customer experience is a sigma of customer perceptions across the value chain in a delivery on an ongoing basis. So the companies will need to graduate to find out the customer experiences. And in good old times, we used to say CSAT, customer satisfaction surveys, somebody calls customer delight surveys. Similarly, there's a way to figure out the employee retention or employee experience or employee surveys. Same way, if we develop a closed loop system where we figure out what is that our stakeholders like about our company, is that about stakeholders that they don't appreciate so much, what are the expectations from our stakeholders, and if you put these questions across the value chain to each important stakeholder, whether it is your customers, whether it is your partners, whether it is your investors, whether it is the society and employees and so on, and figure out a way, you will find a trend. And that's where this concept of data analytics, churning some key matrices that actually tell you about your company's strengths, about the improvement opportunities for your company come in. And that you need to ingrain in your brand promise by way of developing what we call a customer value proposition. So, way to figure out what are we doing well, what we need to do better, and what is that thing that we need to start doing. And those we inculcate in our company in terms of our vision, mission, values, high performance behavior, automatically translate into that brand promise. And the cumulative effect of all this, you will be able to see revenue growth, profitability growth, customer retention, customer acquisition, market expansion, product commercialization, and so on and so forth. And because you're doing this so effectively, you will find that the differentiator between Me Too players or Me Too products is widening, because the customer in his mind perceives that these are the people who are responsive. These are the people who deliver on their promise. These are the people who are more transparent, and the trust part that Jyoti mentioned about. So again, it's a great question, Aparna. I could have gone on and on, but I think that by and large sums up that brand is that intangible thread that cuts across the value chain and that contributes to growth of almost every business matrix that you can think of. I hope that answers the...
Yes, absolutely does. Thank you. So I think if your brand is right, you will automatically get profit. You will automatically be long term. It's not the other way around. So if it's a right brand, this will happen. But if it's not the right brand, the other thing will not happen.
Yeah, but the important rider here is it's an ongoing process. So when I say that you build a brand, you have to deliver on the promise that the brand makes to customers. So brand, you cannot say that brand is built and I have arrived and I can be complacent. In fact, it's the other way around. When you build a strong brand, the customer perception go a notch higher, So the challenge for that brand is not only to deliver good on what was promised, but actually go a notch higher, become good, because there will be always me too or smart follower people who will emulate your success or secret sauce, whatever Bharat was calling. So you need to continuously innovate and improvise on your journey or across your value chain. So I have built a brand, I have arrived, not a way to it. In fact, that, as we say, as you climb higher on the mountain, the oxygen level drops. So the task is harder as you build your stronger brand.
So most SMEs and MSMEs, they feel that branding is only for bigger organizations, and what do we have to do with this? It's not for us. So Dr. Ravindra and Darshan, if you could help us with your thoughts on this.
So, Darshan, you want to go first or I'll go first?
Go ahead, Ravindra.
So, thank you, first of all, for having me over and this fantastic discussion. I was also privy to the presentation Bharat was making, very powerful points. Coming back to the question, I understand that the most MSMEs have a feeling that brand building is for only large caps and big companies. The reason is very simple, that more often than not, the brand building has been identified with B2C segment. So it is always the consumer products that are seen as branded products, and therefore the branding avenues of consumer products, namely big bang advertisements on digital channels, electronic channels, newspapers, trade magazines, business media with big budgets, is always seen as something which is a very high cost item. And secondly, there is always this brand ambassador or brand icon, again to do with the B2C segment. So this is what dominates the thinking, that brand building is all about spend, spend, spend. And second most important thing is, brand building is not a one-time strategic intervention. It is an ongoing intervention. You cannot say that I have done this intervention and brand is built. Then there is a bigger reputation, the bigger responsibility of keeping the reputation of the brand and growing the brand. So in that sense, brand building is an ongoing exercise. So these two impediments come to mostly the MSME segments. What we need to think is that with of internet and digital technology, there are numerous other avenues that have opened up for building corporate brands or MSME brands. And I understand that for MSME to do that kind of spend on advertisement and brand ambassadors is just not possible, because there are 100 claimants to the 100 rupees that are on the table, whether it is in technology, infrastructure upgrade, better material, better R&D, hiring better talent, and so on and so forth. So the brand building aspect takes the last priority. What has, however, happened with the advent of, with the deeper penetration of internet, FTTH or high-speed broadband, is that the brand building has become a lot easier. So therefore, the paradigm shift in thinking has to come in terms of what is brand building, how it can be done without big bang budgets, and most importantly, what does brand do for an organization? It is that intangible age. I think there was a lot of presentation details that Bharat shared earlier, so I do not want to go in benefits of brand building. But I think with the passage of time, the whole paradigm or the context of brand building has, and it is now possible that no matter what your budget is, there are opportunities to build up on an ongoing basis. Just that the concepts, thought process about target audience, what message or what brand promise we need to convey, how to live up to the value proposition that is the brand promising to customers, are some of the aspects that need to be taken care of. This is a very umbrella question, and I could go on and on, but I do want to leave table space for Darshan to pitch in.
Next question is to Jyoti and Dr. Ravindra. Typical question will be, our customers know where we are, we know where our customers are, so why to do all this brand building? It's not required. Like, mujhe pata hai mera customer kahan hai, so why are we doing this? Like, I think Darshan just said it, that I knew where I'm going to get my 30 people in the batch. So So yeah.
So Jyoti,
Yes.
you want to have a go first?
Oh, no,
Yes.
it's okay. Please go on.
All right. So I think that's a great question. Okay. We forget the fact that the market is dynamic. What premise was yesterday doesn't hold good today, won't hold good tomorrow. Indeed, you and your customer know each other, but there is another competition who is just lurking down the corner, and then he can be, your next nemesis. So they say now that every champion was once a contender. So first of all, the market is dynamic, so you can't take anyone for granted. Number one. Number two, the fact is the relationship between customer and your organization more often than not are people centric. What I mean is change is the only constant, and even people change positions, people change roles. So if you have a sponsor in your customer's organization, he moves on in his career or he moves in a different role, suddenly you find that your relationship with that account is on the fringes. So I think what we need to do is work around to stitch that invisible glue between our customers' organization and our organization, so that you have the situation that no matter what the situations are, I mean, when I say situation, it's the external environment, you still have your proposition in by way of your brand represented there, by way of your product, by way of your service, by way of your documentation, by way of your sheer delivery promise, or by way of your overall ability to support. So first of all, you need brand building so as to safeguard or ring fence you from the uncertainties of economic environment, from the uncertainties of political environment, from the uncertainties that arise because of the people movement. So there are numerous areas. That's number one. Secondly, you forget the fact that you also want to grow your business. So you definitely want to grow beyond your customer orbit, right? So you want to acquire more and more and more customers, right? In a doctorate program, I wrote a chapter on how do you transition your business to customers who you want to work with, or for that matter, not just today's customer but tomorrow's customers. So I think the whole game about customer retention, customer acquisition, and growing value of share of customer, branding is one powerful tool that helps you grounded, that helps you stay grounded, that helps you get deep rooted with your customers. No matter whether you are physically present, you are digitally present, your brand presence is 24/7, 365 days a year and year on year. So that is to maintain the baseline of your business and to grow your business. The answer again, it's a very good question, because everyone is thinking, "Arey, wo to humko janta hai, uske upar kya?" So that's not the argument here. So we say that to overcome the nuances of business uncertainties, to ride the ambitions of business growth, we need brand. That would be short.
Thanks. My next question is, what's the role of PR? We all have heard everything on digital, but what do you think is the role of PR in today's era, and what is the best way to do it?
The definition of PR, more often than not, people limit with media. In reality, it goes much further, right? For example, exploring the intergovernmental channels. There are so many, let's say US-India corridor is just one example, or EU-India corridor. There are so many forums and platforms that are available to represent your brand. And PR is often, again, a little bit misunderstood about spending money. It's a matter of engaging with the right people who are in the circle of influence. We either call them decision makers or decision influencers. And they need not necessarily come from the media side. For example, the forum that CII is now setting up is an outstanding forum for an individual or for a company to build a brand. If you have good thoughts to express, there is FICCI, there is ASSOCHAM, there are numerous intergovernmental forums, there are bilateral visits, there are delegations coming and going. a good PR campaign of an organization can actually take incredible advantage of these opportunities to strongly position themselves in the minds of stakeholders.
Okay, my last, literally the last piece of advice that you have for everybody here. I mean, maybe your last piece of one thing that you want to, have a thought.
You know what I mean? I'm just going to go a little bit contra, okay? Because we are all mutual admirers society, and we talk about branding and why it is the lifeline of business. Now, my take here is that branding is such an exciting world that you can easily get carried away. So my kind of experience is strong brands are built only on the back of rock solid performance and ground realities. Hyping a brand is extremely counterproductive. So I think we need to focus on our product deliveries, our walk the talk, our brand promise. As long as we are doing it day in, day out, weeks and quarters and years all together, it is good to go in for brand building exercise. But it's very, very important not to overstep that line, because that could be really be hurting your brand credibility. And then the cost of recovering the damaged brand is way higher than the cost of rebuilding it, because these are the intangible things. So branding is very good, but I think we need to treat very cautiously that our walk and our talk are just in sync.